What's happening, guys? It is the 15-16 Lago Vista race here in Texas. We drove out here. It's about 14 hours, and I'm really looking forward to this. I'm really young, so my goal is just to stick in the peloton as long as I possibly can, which that's not going to be a lot, as y'all are going to see, but we're really going to try our best here. And they just were flying off the gun. I think there was an attack up the road already, and this is a really hilly course. We do it both ways in 2 days, so there's just one really big hill, and when you go down it, you can get to like 50 miles per hour, which is crazy. And one really important thing is just I'm gonna make sure I keep my body cool because it is hot out here. We're in Texas. It is like the start of spring, or into winter, whatever you call it. So it's not crazy hot, but it is way hotter than I'm used to because I've been on the indoor trainer for a while here. And this is like one really hard course. I mean, once the first part here, the first half is just all uphill, and then the second half is like rollers, but the downhills are really steep, so it equals out. And it's not crazy steep this direction, but you also got to make sure you're in good position, and the wind still matters. But I'm from Tennessee, so this is not like too much, but we do this for about 11 laps. I ended up doing 10. I got lapped. Spoiler alert, but that's 10 laps of this, so it adds up over time. That's what you got to keep in mind. It may not be a lot, the laps may not be a lot, but you just got to add it up over time. And we're going to jump ahead to like 5 minutes later into this lap. I don't remember, but it's all bunched up here on the climbs, everyone's just sitting there, and I'm thinking to myself, if another attack goes, I'm like done and dusted, or I'm gonna like hang on by a limb. I'm absolutely cooked already. I do not have the intensity for this older race, so I got to keep in mind about that, and I don't want to go crazy hard, so if I may need to drop back and like ease myself, because we still have, if I do get lapped, as I said earlier, but I have 50 miles right now if I get lapped now, or not lapped, dropped. So I got to keep an eye out on that. So there you go. You can see the peloton's moving up. There's someone attacking. I'm like, I'm not ready for this. And we're gonna fast forward to the downhill here. This was awesome. We were absolutely flying. I was a little like nervous because I didn't want to crash. I still can't get over some of the crashes that happened last year, but I'm doing so much better, so I'm proud of myself. But I mean, I haven't raced with any of these guys. That's another thing. When you don't race with the guys you're racing with, it's hard to trust them. So I haven't raced with a lot of these guys. A lot of them are from the west side of the United States. So, and this is that hill I was talking about, that you can catch some real speed. And I also, on top of talking about the other guys, I weigh so little compared to them that it is a real struggle. I've got to like sprint on the downhills to keep up with them. But as you can see, I'm just going to carry my momentum, and I'm going to get back on, reattach myself on the back of the peloton here. And this is 200 meters to go till the finish line. This is not the last lap on the way. This is still the first lap because I'm in the group. But someone has just attacked on the downhill, so I am done and dusted. And I'm thinking, oh no, what if someone goes in the feed zone? Because my main goal right now is also to try to keep myself cool, because it is really hot out here. I'm not adapted to it. And so, as you can see, someone's going. My friend Max up there is absolutely he's killing it, but he's like suffering it. So are a couple of other guys off the back. I'm like, I'm not gonna be able to stick with it. But as we come in here in the feeds, I'm looking for my parents. They got my bright yellow Wheelman jersey on, and I'm just gonna take a water from my mom there. And then I'm also looking for ice, and I got some ice too. I have both ice and water in the feed zones each lap, so I'm gonna try to aim to get both of those. They're spread out. That's a little tip and trick there, if y'all want one. If you have 2 people, which I have 2 parents, so they can split up in the feed zone, and you can see if you can get 2 feeds. So I'm gonna make sure to keep myself cool. I dropped a bottle, or I threw a bottle, and y'all are gonna see why I talk so much in that first lap, because that's really all. I'm gonna go solo for another 8 laps here, but I'm like done and dusted. My heart rate was at like 190. I made a lap on my computer, and it was like 232 watts for 20 minutes, which is like insane, especially after yesterday's time trial, which I got another power PR. I was like, oh my goodness, I can't keep with this. Excuse me. As you can see, I'm suffering here, and I'm like, there goes my race. And I'm gonna let off the pedals a little, recover a little, and then I'm gonna get into a groove, and I'm gonna solo another 8 laps by myself. And I will say, I was not in the group for these 8 laps at all, but it was a race, and it was a race between my mind. Oh my goodness, I'm stuttering there. And it was a race to stay into the race, because I was like really thinking about giving up the heat from the pavement, like going up from the sun. I was like absolutely cooked, and I kept pouring water on me. I had ice, and I also was like, my biggest goal was not to get lapped. I mean, I did, like I've said before, but not to get lapped, or just not to get lapped like more than 2 or 3 times. So that's my little motivating factor, and pretending like I'm Poggy off the front. But it was still a race, and I really wanted to quit the whole time, the whole 8 laps. But I'm going to stick with it, and because my parents did not just drive 14 hours out here for nothing. And we're going to fast forward a little here. We're coming up onto the feed zone. And like I was talking about the heat, I'm like, my bottle is already empty. This is the one I just got from the last lap, and I'm spraying it over me. I have like a little shower. That's the key thing. The only way I could really do this solo for as long as I did, which was like 40 miles, I had to make sure I was, nutritioned. I made sure I had the right nutrition, and I was keeping my body cool. That is one of the biggest things you got to learn when you ride, especially by yourself, is you got to keep your body. Like, you can do this hard stuff, and you can't be like this mindset that like, oh, I'm a tough guy, I'm not going to have like that much water. You got to make sure you keep your body cool, keep your tank full, not empty. And I had a whole bunch of gels. And you can see my face here. I'm like, it's gritted. I was really suffering here. Anyways, I just want to say, Jesus loves you. He wants a connection with you. And you should really like reach out to your local church and go there. It's honestly keeps me going every day. I'm going to throw out a bottle here, grab one from my dad there. And then I'm going to get an eye sock up here. I was really thirsty, actually. I only had one bottle in my cage, so I was trying to get an eye sock here. But like I was saying, reach out to your local church, go to youth group if you're younger, because I've met, like, there's been days I don't want to ride at all, but then just knowing that, like, you've got this community that supports you. Back into the race here. I know I'm looking back, and it's probably not the best habit to do, but I'm trying to make sure there's, like, because I'm also trying to see if they're coming up on me. As soon as I see them coming, my group, I'm just gonna like lay off the pedals and recover as much as I can for that little spot. And then oh shoot, why am I picking my nose? Do not look at that. Do not clip that, people. Frick. But yeah, you can see on the right here that exactly what I was just talking about. As soon as I saw the peloton coming up, my group, I just eased up, and I'm allowed to hop back on because this is my age group. So I'm just gonna hop back on here in the back here, and it looks like there's 1 lap to go. There's no breakaway. And I'm thinking to myself, okay, this is good. It looks like it's going to be a sprint, so I'm just going to stick in the peloton. Hopefully, like, if there's a lead out, or if there's just some group I can like hop onto and see if the best I can do for my sprint. Because that's another thing I've got to work on, is just my positioning. And that's exactly one of the reasons why I got dropped. Later I learned that the power I was putting out, I probably could have sticked with the peloton. It's just the way I positioned myself and how I got shuffled back. So that's one thing I'm going to work on, but I'm really young, so you live and you learn. But that's one thing we got to keep an eye out here, is that I'm going to try to stay positioned, not at the very, very back, but near the back, tail gunning, and really executing that better. It took a while for them to catch me, and when I got into the peloton, they were doing like this, and I was like, oh my goodness, if I just stayed in there for like one more lap, I could have stayed in the rest of the race, and that really played with my mind a little after the race. But I just want to take a moment to mention the aura of number 215 right there. That is like no hands he had on the bars. That is like in the peloton. I gotta respect it. I'd be too scared to do that. I'd be scared I'd end up in a crash. I was mentioning to my friend Ian and one of the other guys in the blue. I was like, dude, that is aura. Now I just realize that's really cringy that I said that. Okay, I really got to work on it. I don't talk to enough people. And then there was some guy on our left there. I'm sure you saw that car who was honking and cussing at us, and it was a little something, a little adrenaline rushing. But that's what we need right now because we're getting ready for the sprint. And this is one of those big races that the national teams look for, and what to go to Europe they look for. So the stakes are high. Not really for me because I don't really have a chance, but for the other guys, they have a big chance. So the stakes are high for them. And so I got to keep that in mind that it's going to be hard. Like, it may be easy now, but in this sprint, it's going to be, everyone's going to be racing to their line. They're going to be giving their all, and they're going to be trying to get in the best position for the sprint. Exactly what I was talking about earlier. It's just like I weigh so little compared to the rest of the guys that, like, I was trying to my best to stay in position, but I just get shuffled back because of the how much I weigh, and I end up having to do a little effort here, which is not what I want because we are less than, I think it was less than a mile here or something. We were really, really close. This is like half a lap to go, so I did not want to burn a match here. And you can see I'm like, my head's down, I'm sprinting. This is exactly not what I want to do. Not ideal, but you know, gotta do what you gotta do. It's better than not catching the peloton back. I really wanted to stay there. I was enjoying the draft. And I think this is 1 kilometer to go, or we're about to pass the banner, or there's a little thing on the side here. And I'm like, my adrenaline's high. I was like, okay, I got dropped because of my positioning in the second, like halfway through the second lap. So I'm not going to let this slide, but as you can see, their power, it's like I said, it's a high stakes race, so everyone's really going to be giving it their all, and I'm caught out here. They got a little tack on the front, and I think that, yeah, there's a guy up the road who I was like, oh my goodness, what? And then on the left there's some kids shirtless cheering for us, which was awesome. Okay, hopefully no one finds that weird, but you got some people blowing up right here, and it is just, I'm just like, okay, I may have gotten lapped, and I'm like not really even fighting for a position, but I really want to give it my all to the line. That's one of my things. I always give it all to the line. So it's 200 meters to go, and I'm just gonna empty the tank right here. The rest of that I have. I'm flying up here. Everyone was like, a lot of people were absolutely cooked, and I ended up getting like mid-pack, but then of course they because that's what it looked like, but they had I had to tell them that I did not get. I got lapped. I'm being honest, okay? I'm doing a good deed. Anyways, thank y'all so much for watching. We got a whole bunch more race recaps coming out. I don't know when I've posted this because I've got like a ton. So whenever I post this, thank y'all so much. Who knows? It may be the winter when I post this. But thank y'all so much for watching. Have a great one. Jesus loves you, and yeah.